I work for Dance Magazine and Point, and we're a pretty small company. Our overarching company is called Dance Media, and we are the publishers of a host of dance-related magazines. So if you are anywhere from a tween to a dance educator up through college to a dance lover of any age, our publications kind of span that breadth of coverage. So we have Dance Magazine is 93 years old now. We've been around a long time, and that is our magazine for pre-professional to professional dancers and dance lovers. And we've kind of rebranded in the last maybe 5 or 6 years as a lifestyle publication for dancers and dance lovers. So we cover everything from news in the dance world, upcoming shows, performance previews all over the country, and a little bit international as well. And we cover ballet, modern, contemporary dance, hip hop, commercial dance, jazz, Broadway, tap, any kind of dance, we try to touch on it. And our stories revolve around not just news and what's happening, but we look at some of the larger issues facing the dance world, whether that's like gender inequity in leadership of dance company, pay scales, social injustice, all those things that the world at large deals with. We look at them through a dance lens. And then we also look at what it means to train to be a dancer, from technique and schools to how you should cross-train, healthy nutrition, education pathways for training in college. And then we do longer form stories on up-and-coming dancers you should know, profiles, Q&As, that sort of thing. And then we also shoot a lot of really gorgeous photography of dance happening around the country. So that's Dance Magazine. I'm a senior managing editor there. Our other publications are Point, which I also work on, and that is for bunheads, as we call them, ballet dancers exclusively. Training in ballet is an extremely rigorous, crazy world, frankly. And we are kind of we're the only magazine dedicated specifically to training and pursuing a career in ballet. So it's really for those serious students. And also a lot of parents read along to understand what a career in dance entails and what it means. Oh, bunheads, yes, it's a fun term. So I work on Point as well. Our company also has Dance Spirit, which is kind of like the tiger beat of dance. It's for tween dancers. They cover a lot of things like So You Think You Can Dance, competitive dance studios, Instagram influencers of dance. We're on TikTok now, that sort of thing. And then we also have Dance Teacher, which is for dance educators at studios, K through 12 up through college. So that's a resource there. And then our latest product is the Dance Edit. It is a petite daily dance newsletter. In your inbox, just the biggest headlines in dance for the day. And we recently launched the Dance Edit podcast. So those are all of our titles right now. We also have Dance Business Weekly for dance business owners. So we're a very small company, all under one roof in Manhattan. And my principal job is, as senior managing editor, is looking at the workflow of, we dream up ideas and plan issues months and months ahead. And I look at how many pages we might have for the issue, how many stories we need to assign, how much money we have in the budget for it. And I make sure that each of the editors is assigning their stories out, that they're coming in, they're being edited, and they're going from that initial first draft Word document all the way to a beautiful publication. So I have to show you. This is Point. And here is a Dance Magazine. I believe the guy on the cover here is from New Jersey, actually. He's an amputee and a tap dancer. He's incredible. But aside from working on the print magazines, which we still have. We have robust websites, and that has been a huge growing trend the last few years, and that we are always pumping out new stories to our website daily. So we're pulling double duty. A lot of publications have separate teams for print and website duties, but we just have one team. We do it all. So aside from managing the workflow, I also manage our copy desk. So we have a whole roster of proofreaders, fact checkers, copy editors that are freelancers. And I liaise with them to make sure all of our pages are pristine. So since we are a really tiny company, there are, I don't know, 30 or less of us. That means we work with a ton of freelancers. So I see a small group of people when we're not coronavirusing every day in the office. But a huge part of my job is working with freelance writers all over the country and some in Europe who we assign our stories to, and we say, we want to cover something in Seattle, and we have a writer out there. So we do a lot of interpersonal relationships back and forth over email, over the phone. So that's kind of the day-to-day of my job. Another big thing is every print issue and on each website for Dance in Point, I also have stories that I'm responsible for writing or assigning out to another writer. So in Point, I edit our health and fitness content. So that's usually looking at like 6 exercises for a stronger core, or how to get a higher arabesque. And I speak with a physical therapist and get some exercises for dancers. And we set up a photo shoot with the dancer model to shoot the step-by-step how-to. So kind of like you see in a fitness magazine, we do that as well. So that's kind of my day-to-day there. As far as my background, I grew up in Southern Indiana, near Louisville, Kentucky, and I was a dancer growing up. But even before that, my mom always says that I was making my own magazine. So when I was little, I had my own magazine. I had my editor's letter headshot from the Polaroid camera, and I didn't realize at the time that I was interested in magazines and I might want to pursue something in this. But I think looking back, it's interesting to see if you're struggling to figure out what you might want to do or what type of career you might be interested in, don't just look at what you're doing in school. Look at what you're drawn to in other areas of your life as well. Creative, math, science, really anything. So I had an interest in writing always, but I danced growing up at a small studio, mostly ballet, but also tap and jazz, and got more serious with that as time went on. I know if there are any dancers listening, I would spend my summers away at what's called summer intensives at colleges or other dance schools, training more intensively. And when it came time for college, I wanted to be a dance major. I hadn't honestly thought too much about what I wanted to do with that after college. I just knew that I loved dance and wanted to keep doing it. So, but I had also been a real academic in school, loved writing, loved school, couldn't get enough of nitty-gritty grammar and all of those details. So I went to Ohio University for dance. In their BFA program, the degree is dance performance and choreography. But I did it through a special track. They have something called the Honors Tutorial College, HTC, and it's this very small, strange program that is based off of what's called the tutorial system at Oxford and Cambridge, where you do your degree requirements, but every semester you choose a topic to delve into one-on-one with a professor in any college on the campus. So aside from studying dance, that really let me delve into other interests. One being writing. I took a lot of creative writing courses, And then also I got really interested in video editing, which, funny enough, had nothing to do with writing, but was my key to my job. I took a lot of video editing courses in the telecommunications school, and I got certified in Final Cut Pro, which is a big video editing software program. And from there, I had several internships. I interned at a dance company. We had an alum came as a guest artist to our school, and she had a small company in Southern California, and I asked her, "Do you need an intern?" So she said yes, and I ended up staying with my brother in Southern California the summer after, I think, freshman year, and I did video editing work for the company. So it was really about having an interest and offering the skills I had and finding a need. So I edited excerpts of their performance videos for grant applications, marketing videos, that sort of thing. And then the next summer, I interned as a videographer at a dance festival in Maine. And then finally, before I graduated, I guess as I graduated, I interned at Dance Magazine. They had an editorial internship, which I applied for. And on my application, I also mentioned that I had video editing skills. And they actually brought me on as a video editor as an intern position, which was something they didn't offer for interns. So it was kind of quirky how that worked out. And then I stayed on at the company. I came on as a freelance copy editor. Then I got hired as a full-time fact checker. And then I joined the editorial team of Point and Dance Magazine. So that's a long path, but I've been there since 2011. Coincidentally, I don't really use the video editing anymore, but it was an extremely valuable skill and an interest that I have that got my foot in the door. So I would say don't discount those additional skills and interests that you may have, even if they don't seem to align with your specific career goal. So many jobs today have that crossover, especially as journalism goes more from print to web. You know, everyone is producing podcasts or having multimedia stories. If you go to journalism school today, you're not just learning about print. You might have to produce a podcast as well. So, and those are interests that a lot of young people have now that we didn't have the option to study before. So an interest can also grow into a career path or a career asset.